Plasma. Today's plasma day. Okay. Why did I bring up plasma? Because the other day I had a little tete with my son Adrian, and he questioned whether my reasoning was correct. Well, after we adjourned, I beat him up, gave him a black eye, and now he understands. Okay, he understands plasma is not a thing. Okay, and that's what we're going to say. In fact, one of the fellows just now said, "Hey, Bill, you don't understand what plasma is." No, plasma is not an is. Okay, and let's go through it. Well, what are we talking about? What is plasma? Well, here's a little picture of plasma to put it in the right perspective, so we have a good starting point. Okay, not the one on the top. Okay, that's blood plasma. Okay. No, we're talking about the guy on the bottom, which looks like a bunch of little balls. That's what it looks like to me. What does it look like to you? Okay, it's got all these arrows. The arrows are important, okay, because the idea they're trying to give you with that is that something is in motion. So it's like synthesizing motion in a photograph, okay, and that's kind of weird. We can synthesize photographs like, frames in a movie, but you can't do it the other way around. You can't have, the Mona Lisa smile in a photograph, okay? Because smile requires at least 2 frames in a movie, because a smile is a verb. Smile is not, a photograph. Before you can understand smile, you have to understand what seriousness is, and from seriousness, you move to smile. Okay. Otherwise, smile is a verb. Okay. No such thing as smile as a static image, and this is where the problem is. Okay. So where do we start? Well, we start here. How many states of matter are there? Well, there are only 3. 3 states of matter. They're known as solid, liquid, and gas. These are the states of matter. Okay, here you have them. Okay, examples. Okay, here you have a solid. In the middle you have a liquid, and on the right you have what appears to be a gas. Okay. Now, if you look at those, do you see any motion? Is anything moving in there in that picture? Well, I don't think so. See, you don't need to have liquid move in order to call it liquid. Like if you spill milk on the floor, okay? Well, you spill it on the floor, you say, hey, there's a liquid. Let's assume you did not know what it was. Or maybe it could be some clear liquid of some kind. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's some kind of chemical liquid. And it's just on the floor, and you say, what's that liquid? Now, the liquid is not rolling, it's not moving, it's just there like a chair would be there, right? It's not moving. You don't need to have motion embodied in the word liquid, okay? Now, liquid can also be thought of as something that's flowing, okay? Like you could say a river is liquid, right? Because it flows. But liquid, the word itself, as a state of matter, does not have to be moving any more than a solid has to be moving. And the same with gas. If I release some gas in outer space, okay, and God freezes the universe at that moment in time, he does a cross section of time, I can still have gas. It's a picture. Gas does not have to be moving in order for it to be gas, and within the word gas there should not be any motion. It doesn't embody motion. But these people have created what they call the 4th state of matter. The 4th state. They say plasma is the 4th state. And I looked it up just to make sure, because I always thought Georgia was the 4th state. And I verified that, yeah, Georgia is the 4th state. In fact, he came before plasma because he came in 1788. And William Crookes came up with plasma in 1879, about 100 years later. And they think it's an island right off the coast of Georgia, somewhere out there, the Plasma Island. Well, anyways, the point here is that, no, plasma is not the 4th state. Okay, and you say, well, Bill, everybody knows that's common knowledge. Plasma is the fourth state. Okay, let's find out if that's true. Okay, here we have it. Okay, that's plasma. But, I see a problem because it's a state of matter, but it doesn't be much of a state. It looks like it's moving. It looks like it's moving all around. Something's happening inside, in front of my eyes. I don't know about yours, but I see everything moving. Now, maybe I have to see an ophthalmologist, but as far as I can tell, everything is moving in that picture. Okay, so the first question we have is, can you distinguish between these two? Here we'll put them side by side. Do you see a difference between the three states of matter on the left and the fourth alleged state of matter on the right? Is there a difference between those? If you don't see a difference, maybe you should see an ophthalmologist. Okay, you got a problem with your eyes. Okay, and so what is the problem? Well, the problem is this word called state. Okay, and here we see again the differences between them. The ones on the top are photographs. You can take a snapshot of liquid. You can take a snapshot of gas. Looks like a cloud of some kind. Let's assume it's, I don't know, let's assume it's not phosphine, because that's, I don't know, some gas that you released out there. You take a snapshot of it, okay, if it's color coded, and you can take a snapshot and say that's gas. It's not liquid, it's not a solid, that's gas. Okay, you don't know what gas it is, it doesn't matter. The point is, you can take a snapshot of gas and call it gas, because the word gas under those, in that context, does not require motion. It does not embody motion. Okay, so gas, liquid, picture, I can point to them because I can take a snapshot of them. In the case of plasma, I cannot. If I take a snapshot, I got a problem, because what I have in front of me is not plasma. I have a bunch of little balls, right, with tinier balls called electrons, next to them. So I have big balls and little balls. That's all I have in front of me, okay? And that's not plasma and that's not gas. I don't know what it is. It's just a bunch of balls, okay? If you want the word plasma does embody motion. You can't live without motion in the word plasma. And again, it comes down to this word state, okay? So we look up the word state, and it says a particular condition that someone or something is in at a specific time. At a specific time. We're talking about a cross-section of time. We're talking about God slicing the universe, stopping the universe at some point and saying, okay, the universe stopped. Nothing moves in the universe except me. God, stops the whole universe. Whatever's there is stopped. Nothing moves. Okay? And that's what a state is. See, solid is a state. Liquid is a state. And gas is a state. Plasma is not a state because it's not at a specific time. It needs an interval of time. It needs at least 2 frames in a Universal movie to conceptualize plasma. And state is a static concept. Okay? State is conceptually a cross-section of time in the Universal movie. There is no motion embodied in a state. Okay? So you cannot say that plasma is the 4th state of matter, because state is a static concept. Plasma is not. It does not qualify under the word state. Okay? Motion, it requires 2 or more locations of an object, and the best way to memorize what a state is static. Static. Okay? That's what it is. State is a static concept. Okay? So please remember that. And here, let me show you here, parallel to that. Okay, here are the 3 states of matter plus plasma. And where was the problem? Well, the problem is that if you look up the word solid, it says having 3 dimensions, length, width, breadth, and thickness, which are all 3 wrong. Thickness is not a dimension, and breadth is not a dimension either. It's length, width, and height. Breadth is a vector. It's not a dimension or a coordinate. says having three dimensions as a geometrical body or figure, having relative firmness, coherence of particles, or persistence of form as matter that is not liquid or gaseous. In other words, when they talk about solid, they don't talk about motion. But when you talk about the other three, people define them as having motion. Liquid, they talk about move. Gas, they talk about mobility. And plasma, they talk about ionized. Okay, so this is where the confusion starts. But again, we have to look at the context in which we're using these words. If we're going to talk about the state of matter, there's only three: solid, liquid, and gas, because for the words, these words, they don't embody motion. There's nothing embodying motion in the word solid, liquid, and gas under the context where you say it's a state of matter. Now, do liquids move? Yeah, liquids move. Gases move. If you heat solids, they will move too and turn into liquid, gas, and maybe sublimation, who knows what else. That's not the point. The point is the word solid, the word liquid, the word gas, under the context of a state of matter, they embody no motion. You cannot say the same thing about plasma. Okay, so this is where the problem is. State is a static concept, stands for static. It's static. Okay, so you cannot say that plasma is a static state of matter. Okay, so that's where the problem is. Okay, here we have the word ionization, and ionization, what is it? A process. You know what a process is? It's a verb. Process means you're going to require at least two frames of the universal movie. And there you see an example, ionization, the movie. Okay, we have an atom, some kind of atom there. This is the planetary model, Bohr's planetary model. It's going to lose an electron, that one up there. Okay, and in order to understand ionization, you need at least two frames of the movie. You need to remove, in this case, this example, you need to remove an electron from the atom. And so removing is a verb. Okay, if plasma is the removal, then we have a problem. Plasma is being a state of matter, because plasma is something in motion, so it cannot be a state. Call it whatever you want, but it's not a state. Okay. Ionization is what? A process by which an atom or a molecule what? Gains or loses. Gains or loses. Verbs, right? Electrons during chemical what? Changes. There's got to be a change. What is change? A synonym of the word motion. Okay. So there you have it in a nutshell. Plasma is not a state of matter because state is a static concept. Ionization is not a static concept. Plasma is ionized gas. Therefore, plasma is not a state or anything it's not a static concept. Plasma is something in motion. You cannot synthesize it in a single frame of the universal movie.